Hello fiber friends and polycrafters. Today I am making some beeswax sheets for my kitchen. So you use these in place of saran wrap, which evidently is my husband's nemesis. He keeps tying it in knots. But anyway, this would go over your ceramic dishware and just crumple down the edges, and that locks it in. You could also put blocks of cheese in there and wrap it up, and that keeps your cheese from drying out. And then you just rinse them off with cool water and they're ready to go again. I picked up a fat quarter set, really cool vegetables, and it's even the back looks pretty cool, and decided food should wrap food, and that's what I'm doing. So I have a couple already done. Pull up some really neat texture on them. I have a black one to show you because I think that would show really well through the camera. So here's the fabric, and I just took the fat quarter and cut it square, so I didn't have any ruffled edges. I did pre-wash the fabric beforehand and ironed it. I have my ironing board protected with just a heavy cardstock piece of paper and then parchment on top of that. The parchment is really good for trapping the wax, and then you can use whatever wax is left on it for your next one, which is pretty cool. I got these beeswax pieces from Amazon, and I'll try to find them again and link that below. And it's really a really easy process. Just sprinkle the beeswax on. Try to keep it pretty even. Try to keep it all on the fabric. And if you make them yourself, you can cut them the size that you need for your own dishware. The things that generally wind up with kids' leftovers in the fridge, at least that's us, or little bits of stuff. And it's nice to make them custom, just the size of the top plus an extra couple inches to wrap the sides with is more than you need, and works really nice. So, as you can see, I have them. Well, I hope you can see. Can we zoom? We cannot zoom. Anywho, I evenly sprinkled the top with the beeswax. And the ones I'm doing are just 100% beeswax, nothing else. Lay parchment over the top. This keeps it from getting on your iron, which isn't a huge deal, but definitely keeps it off your ironing board, which is a bigger deal because you don't want wax infused ironing board, and you won't be able to use it on anything else. If you're getting on your iron, just let it completely cool and scrape it off. Reheat your iron and wipe it with a clean cloth. That will take care of that. I have the iron set on high, which is a linen setting on mine, and I start by just taking my iron and pressing it down to initially melt the little wax chunks. If you don't have the little wax chunks, you can grate wax and just grate your beeswax chunk with a cheese grater. That works too. So we're just pushing to initially break them up, and you can see the wax melting. And we'll work our way around the whole piece. The smaller the piece, the easier it is to do. But I thought these would be nice and big to cover those. I think these are about 20 by 16. They will work really good for going over, the 11 by 8 casserole dishes that you put in the oven. Constantly using those. We have some that are like 9 by 9. This will easily wrap that as well. And if you find that you made them too big for what you normally use, you can always cut them down smaller. Don't use a pair of scissors that you love though, because you will get wax all over them. So just keep working around the piece, pushing the iron gently down. Break down all those little nubs of wax. Then once they've worked their way to being melted, you can just iron in small circles and help spread the wax into the cloth, because we really want to permeate the cloth with the wax. Just keep working your way around. You can see the wax not melted chunks through the parchment paper through a single layer. Once you get the double, it makes that a lot difficult. But I needed the double, otherwise I wouldn't have the width I need. My iron keeps wanting to produce a little water. We don't want any water on this. So yeah, you want to do this with a dry iron. Even though my iron's old and refuses to be dry all the time. Try not to slide it around everywhere, and do mind your fingers. The surface gets really hot. Once you feel there's no bumps under the iron, there's no nodules of wax, everything looks like it's melted in and you went over it really well, you want to pull it back and see if you have any spots that haven't been hit. And normally it's on the edges. What I do for that, I will do these two edges, I'll do the other two. I take a wee bit of wax, run it down in a little channel, fold this over on top of it, that back over, iron, being careful not to go actually over the edge, just to go like a 1/4 inch from it. Work your way down again, lifting and pushing, getting a good press. And everything's still pretty warm, so they melt pretty fast at this stage. And then you take your iron and you rub it all in. Then we'll go look at the other side. Pull that back. You see the same thing. There's some missing here. You see where I'm pointing? It's lighter, so you can definitely see it more than you can on camera. And then the top and the sides. So since I know we're missing some here, I'm just going to run my channel here. These little pieces make it really easy. And I'll just fold this over the top. Make it easy. They do stick to your fingers though, so. Back. It's a pretty easy project. And then when you're done, you can use pinking shears and cut the edges, or just leave them cut straight. If you're already a quilter and have the rotary cutter and ruler, it makes it really easy to cut it whatever size you want. And if you don't, just take out a yardstick and just mark what size square you want and use your scissors and cut it out. There's multiple ways to do things. Okay, and you get that back up, and I'm massaging it all in. Go back over the whole thing. Again, being careful not to go over those folded edges. You don't want to make those folds permanent. Then pull back. And I can see I got it really good. Of course, I blinded you. My apologies. I got these sides really good. We'll pull them back. Oops, see, there's a couple that's are not melted, so we'll have to go back for that. You will get wax on your fingers. And we want to fold a little bit more like here and here. Fold this side down. You can see the wax is starting to cool on this one a little bit. I hope you can see it's white. I'll flip this one back over. I'm going to make mind of where my folds are. So the folds are here and here. I'm going to take one of these away so you can see better. And a little wax. Just throw it in there. The extra wax stays on the parchment. So when you go to your next piece, sometimes you just need to iron it, and that wax will go on there, and then you just go by and add a little extra as you need it. Okay. So work on melting it, lifting. Lift and press, lift and press. And again, I have the iron all the way up. Now we want to massage it all in. Iron is going to dump water again. Stop doing that. Oop, that's the water being sizzled. I want to get it dry before it hits the, before I accidentally dump it onto the wax. I'm going to lift the sheet up. Okay. That. Oh, see, it looks so much more, so much darker. Okay. Ooh, we still have some wax that's not melted. That needs to be. We got the edges. There's some extra wax there. I'm just gonna put that here and melt up those extra ones where we had those light spots. Inside. You don't want any chunks of wax hanging out. And if you think you have too much wax on, just put another piece of cloth over the top and iron together, and the new cloth will absorb the extra wax. Oh, that looks pretty. Alright, this one's starting to cool and is holding itself up. So I'll have to push it back down. Make sure you're still over your parchment. Up and down, get those big pieces of wax melted. You'll see them glisten underneath the parchment paper. It pretty much looks like oil at this stage. And go over it really good. One last time. Iron's being naughty. And there you are. See, the extra wax is sticking too. The extra wax sticking to that. See the, yeah, you can see the extra wax sticking to it. If you pull it off when it's wet, if you let it cool a little bit, the extra wax will remain on the cloth. So I'm going to iron that corner, peel that off. There's a little extra on there, but and a little missing from that corner. Oh no! This is where you do your final inspection. Make sure that every part is covered in wax. In doing so, your fingers will get covered in wax, but that's okay. Notice this corner is missing something. I'm gonna go put that over there. The corner that's missing something right on top of that. This parchment sheet still has a lot of wax on it too, so that'll help. And then right over the top. There we go. The rest looks good. That corner got hit. I'm gonna lay it flat again. We don't have that. Fold it up. There we are. Another piece of fabric embedded with wax, ready to keep your food fresher longer. Thank y'all. Have a good day.